If you are struggling with doing a meat-based diet for several different reasons, which I will go through, when would it be a good idea to throw in the towel? Should you go back to just the standard American diet? Should you add fruit, which I'm going to do a whole video on that? Or should you add just low carbs? What kind of carbs? If so, let's go. Welcome everyone to my humble life. I call it humble because I pulled 2 draft cross horses that weigh almost 4,000 pounds, not including the trainer, over to the Amish farrier and took all day. Okay, carbs. I got this idea because somebody sent me a video of a woman saying, a doctor, saying that you do better with your autoimmunity and weight loss eating carbs. I mean, you cannot make up this ridiculousness in an old thrift store handbag. Like, people will freaking say anything and get you thinking like, oh my God, I should eat carbs. Lord have mercy. Make it make sense. I digress. Do not do that. Do not just go and think that eating carbs and fruit and counting your carb macros is going to have you lose weight. It's always best to be in ketosis. There are a certain type of people who cannot. So let's go through those reasons and when it's time to throw it in the towel. And do low carb and not like the high carb, which she was mentioning. Okay, let's break it down. People who need to go back to carbs, if you're doing a meat-based diet, are people who are suffering from hypoglycemia. And guess what? That's a lot of you. I know. A lot of you are dealing with blood sugar dysregulation, so you'll have energy one moment and little energy the next moment, or you'll sleep terribly one night and sleep great the next night, and you would never equate it to blood sugar dysregulation. So that's a very precarious thing. Now, some people are chronically dehydrated. That's another class of people I haven't really gone into as to why you should probably stop doing a meat-based diet if you're having electrolyte issues and go back to carbs. And then it's your gallbladder people. Well, there's actually a fourth one, people who can't break down fat. And then there's the thyroid people. The thyroid just tanks. Most likely connected to hypoglycemia. But let's go deeper into this. If you're hypoglycemic on a carnivore, lion diet, snake diet, keto diet, why the frack is no one talking about this? Like, we're just going to pretend that none of this exists. And then people will comment on my page like, why are you the only one? I mean, they're successful. No, they're not. Let's take a look. You put on some glasses. They're not successful. They say that they're successful. If you actually join the group, these groups, most people don't know, like these coaching groups, most people who are in the group don't even recognize poor symptomology. And then there's the person who's like, I feel like I'm terrible. And then that person gets blocked because the person running the page doesn't want to see other people realize that they're struggling. So hypoglycemia is when you can't balance your blood sugar, and the symptoms are waking up in the middle of the night, crashing in the middle of the day, not enough energy for the gym, brain fog's another one, and dehydration. Which, let's talk about dehydration. Why do people become dehydrated doing a meat-based diet? Because they're not having any carbs to hold on to water within the cell, which is why Paul Saladino started eating fruit, which the amount of fruit that he's eating is it's so absurd, in my opinion. Paul, it's my opinion. I own it. And then there's a whole liver problem and people with blood sugar issues. Everything is contextual. Who can do these diets where you're eating a bunch of fruit and honey and meat with no starch? How? Starch is going to have fiber and slow down the rate at which the blood glucose hits the... Yeah. Okay. Then we have thyroid people. People's thyroids tank because they never get into ketosis. They're either not eating enough fat, or the blood sugar's too high, they can't get rid of their stress. For plethora of stress is quantified in different ways. Yeah. And if you can't make those lifestyle changes, or of course, thyroid people, if you can't break down fat, you are not going to get into ketosis. You need equipment to break down fat so your body can absorb it into the bloodstream. Crazy, right? Crazy thought. So those are the different types of people struggling. And of course, chronic dehydration because you drop out your carbs. Get headaches, migraines, can't sleep, muscle cramps, rib cramps, nausea, vertigo, all those things are leading, high blood sugar when you're chronically dehydrated. People ask, what's the solution? The solution, if you have those problems and you can't control your blood sugar and you're having severe nausea and gallbladder issues, pain, bloated, headaches, and you can't figure out how to fix things, then you could potentially go back to carbs, but then hopefully you're not having mast cell activation, leaky gut issues. But some people they have to eat carbs, starches. That could be, so low carb would be considered things like sweet potato, yucca-ish, small red potatoes, those would be your starches. Now, rice would be higher glycemic, but if you had a small amount of jasmine rice or white rice, has to be bleached. Don't do the unbleached. That's arsenic. Okay. And the phytic acid. Then you would do just small amounts of that type of starch. Yes. No beans and no bread. Potentially sourdough, but no. Actually, no. Those would be your starches. So your non-starchy vegetables would be like yellow squash and zucchini and carrots, which are higher in carb but are not considered a starch. They kind of respond like a fruit because you got to break down the fiber, then you get to the glucose without the starch element. Okay. Which if you have starch while trying to do a meat-based diet, you can't get into ketosis. It's got to be high fat. By the way, I coach this in consultations, all the stuff that I'm talking about. That individual story is friggin' everything. So it's kind of hard when people ask questions and they're so unclear. They give me one little tiny point and they're like, what's the solution? I'm like, I don't know. I really don't. Until I get to actually talk to you. So low carb, high fat would be anything between 80 and 100 carbs. Yeah. And are you going to do better on carbs? Not really. You have to keep stoking that fire because the hypoglycemia, smashing on the ground, and insulin issues. I know. It's always better to be in ketosis, but that's a whole nother 2,000 videos on how to do that. Right now, I'm like, should you eat carbs? Well, only if you have those issues, which I explain. Can you mitigate it and slow down those issues? Of course. If you're having a gallbladder issue, you can do TUTCA and lipase and taurine, glycine, bitter herbs. You can try a bunch of remedies, ox bile. If you have blood sugar dysregulation, eat every couple of hours. That'll help a lot. If you've got thyroid issues, eat every couple of hours and get some sleep and eat high quality food. There's always a solution that you wouldn't necessarily need to go back onto carbs, but if you feel like you can't control your blood sugar or your chronic dehydration, then that could be a temporary solution until you fix that gut wall. Comment below, tell me if you want to do part 2. I know I've got a lot of part 2s to make, but we're just trying to do a quick video before I go to bed and start my day over again, and I'm out. Energy. Mind has energy. Ish. Body doesn't. Yes. My course, I'm running a course where I cover all 3 diets. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie Business Person. And I'm out. Energy.